Today I'm going to show you how to make a Christmas tree, how to paint a Christmas tree. It's very easy to do. And here we go. Let's just get started. Now, first of all, you're going to need four different kinds of brushes. You will need a long liner brush like this one, and then you'll need a medium-sized flat brush, a smaller flat brush for the snow, and then you'll need a very, very small scruffy type brush. You can just, if you have a really old kids paintbrush or something that's a small one, just cut the bristles down to kind of a nub, and that's what we're going to do the lights with. Now, to get started, you can see I've already painted a line right here with the green paint, and that's all you need. Just simple line, doesn't have to be perfect or clean or neat or anything. And then we're going to add the bristles of the pine tree, and you do that by dipping the end of the brush into the green paint and then tapping off a little bit of the excess right onto your palette. I use a plastic palette. And then we're going to work from the bottom and work our way up. Now for this, you can do it straight across like this tree, or we're going to do it slanted like these other trees. So you just use a light hand and just dab on a line at the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit more paint to that. And then you go up to the next line and the next line, and just keep working your way up. You can see I'm shortening the length of them as I work my way up to create that cone shape for the tree. And it doesn't have to be perfect, but this is the easiest way to make a tree. Now when you get to the top, you'll turn your brush sideways, get a little bit more paint on there to create the top. And then you can fill in any gaps if you want. You may want the tree to have the gaps. You may not want it to have the gaps. It's totally up to you and how you want your tree to look. And there you go. And then we can add a little bit more paint to the center if you want to hide that trunk. You can leave the trunk visible. It works either way. Okay, and then you'll let that dry. Now while that's drying, I'm going to show you the next step, which is adding the snow. So we're going to take the smaller flat brush, add some white paint to it. I'm going to dab off the excess like I did with the green, and then try to keep in mind, I'm doing this with a very light hand, and try to keep in mind that less is more, because you can always add more later. So let's start with less and just kind of dab it on like that. Just kind of here and there, like you're imagining the actual leaves of the branches of the trees with some snow on them. We'll add a little bit more paint. And again, a very light hand, that's a bit too much. As you can see, it got a little blobby there. So just add it like that. And now I want a little bit more in the middle. As you can see, I did less and then I'm adding more. And that way it doesn't look like I made a big mistake by putting in too much first. Okay, now that we've got the snow added, I'm going to go ahead and move on to this lower tree down here. Hopefully you can see this. Now we're going to add the lights. And now the lights are done, again, with this tiny little scruffy brush. You want to dip it in the paint, and then you're going to want to have this a rag handy, and just swirl it around to get the excess paint off. And then just dot it. It's like a dry brush method. Just dot it onto your tree. And doing it this way makes it look like they have a little bit of a glow. Okay, and I'm going to use this brush over and over again. Just wash that brush off, the excess paint out of there, twirl it around in your rag, and then add another color and repeat. So get the excess paint off by swirling it around in a circle on your rag, and then lightly just dabbing it onto your tree. And you can start to see the colors coming in, and what it looks like is it makes it look like the colors are coming through the snow. They're glowing through that snow that's on the tree. So it's a very, very pretty effect. Okay, I'm going to add some pink. And you guys basically get the gist of how this works. Now see, that was too wet, so I'm actually going to wipe my brush off a little bit more. And I suggest you just get a couple of pieces of sturdy white paper and just try it out. Just practice it before you try. If you're going to make the ornament in this tutorial, then great. If you just want to know how to paint trees, then that's great too. But just practice this on paper first and make a bunch of trees until you feel comfortable with the method. And then once you do, you should be ready to go ahead and make some pretty ornaments. So that is it. And I just see, again, a bit too wet, so dry it off, add some more glue. And now we have pretty Christmas trees. And there you have it. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. Thanks for watching.